Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave, and today we're going to start a playthrough of Silent Victory, U.S. Submarines in the Pacific, 1941 to 45, game designed by Gregory M. Smith and published by GMT Games. This is the second printing. So as you can see, I've kind of laid out. I got my pieces sitting around the table, trying to get things where you'll be able to see a little bit. I know that these counters are kind of small, so I'll try to hold them up sometimes so you can see. But basically what we have here, there's a couple things for the setup. This is our submarine card over here, and I've already got it set up. We're going to use the Salmon class, which was available December 1941, so that's when we'll be starting, December 41. So we have the Salmon class. The actual submarine, I actually went to a website, looked up all the U.S. submarines in World War II, and there were 6 of the Salmon class listed, so I rolled a die and I picked up, I got the, see if I can get this down far enough. I got the Snapper. So the USS Snapper, it's SS-185, and it was captained by F.O. Johnson, and he'll be starting the game as a lieutenant commander. So that's our setup. She gets 12 forward torpedoes. 4 of them I have loaded in the forward tubes. She also gets 4 aft torpedoes, which I've already loaded into the aft torpedo tubes. We have a 3-inch deck gun. So I have 5 rounds for that, and there's a 50 cal anti-aircraft gun also. Then this is for the hull damage and the flooding that can occur if we start to get beat up. And then our other over here is our other items for damage. So I have damage markers that would go on here, and these you probably can't see them, but there's a fainter number under there, like under electrics and diesels there's a 4, so a roll of, I believe it's 1 to 4, and you repair that so you can fix it. But like on your periscope, it's a 2, so a roll of 1 or 2 is what it takes to repair that. So it's a lot harder to repair some of these miscellaneous items than it is your engines and motors. We also have crew status, so if we get our skills come up, we get put markers there. And then for this game, you can use these patrol boxes here. So if you really want to make a small footprint, you can get rid of this chart altogether and just use these for your patrol boxes. Or exactly the same thing up here that I like using. It's just because I like the visual, the flavor of knowing where I'm at in the Pacific Ocean. Here we're using the Australian patrols, and I'm working out of Fremantle. So there's Fremantle and there's Brisbane. There's absolutely no difference in the 2 maps. It's just kind of where they're starting from, but they're exactly the same for the Australian campaign there. And why am I using the Australian? Because, well, 2 reasons. One, when I looked up this submarine, he actually was working the Philippines then. And number 2, in the rule book, it actually says Salmon class starts in the Philippines, and there's a special rule for that. So that's what I'm actually starting in the Philippines on this campaign. So historically, we're correct there. We also have our combat chart, combat map here, and this is where our ships will go that we're going to attack, our range, whether it's day or night, whether we're surfaced or submerged, if there's an air attack, escort, anything like that, a sub versus sub, all these things happen on here. And there's a nice combat versus escorted ships sequence of events. So it's all right there. It makes it really nice. This is a table based game, I guess we'll call it. So we're going to we'll be rolling the dice to see what happens, and then we have tables. So, you know, this is our P1A patrol assignment for the Australia boat. So this is where we're going to be working out of. Okay. So we have those, and then we have, then you have an encounter chart. So if you have an encounter, and you'll see how all these things work. There's modifiers, and then we'll get into firing and damage and all those good things that happen during the game. I'll probably use a couple of optional rules, and we'll describe them when we get to them. But I think right now, really what we should do is get started. So our first mission, so we have our log sheet here. So the log sheet, like I said, we put everything across there. So we're starting December 41. And the very first mission is Philippines, and it's an evacuation. So we have to pick up a passenger, and then we have to get them back to our port to be successful. We don't have to sink any submarines. We can dodge patrols. We can do all that stuff. So if we run into an escort or something, we don't have to tangle with them. We can dodge all that. So, you know, our objective in this one is get this one and get a successful mission. The successful missions, you start to build up on your ships. You know, you start to get your battle stars, you start to get your other awards, and those are things that'll help you get promoted, get your crew, get some experience, all those good things. Okay, so here we have our counter. This is the USS Salmon. See if I can get it to focus a little bit. December 41. And he actually starts right here in the Philippines where there's an M. And that M, so normally we would start in our port and do transits, but because the war broke out in December, he's already up here in the Philippines. So that for this one mission only one time, we start right there in that box. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is an encounter, because I'm in my first patrol box, and this is a special missions. So we're going to roll 2 dice, 2d6, and a 2, 3, or 4 we get a aircraft. Other than that, no encounter. And I got a 7. Okay, no encounter, which means I pick up the passenger. So I have a passenger counter right here, and we put him on our submarine chart down here. Now, I was just looking at that a minute ago. Oh, right here in the crew status. So we now have a passenger, and he's there. Now, if he gets killed during a battle or something, then I will not have a successful mission. Right now, I picked up the passenger. Okay, next thing we do, we move to the next patrol zone, and we're going to roll for our encounter. Okay, so we're in the Philippines, so this is the table we're going to use. 2 dice, and we get a 9. And the 9 is ship plus escort. Okay, so we're going to roll. Now we have to determine what we've run into here. Okay, so the first thing we do, we had the encounter, and it's a ship plus escort. So we got to determine what size ship. So determine ship size is right here. 1 to 4, small ship. 5 to 6 is a large ship. So we roll 1 die, and it is a 3. So it is a small ship. Okay, so we're going to have a small ship. So the next thing we do, just got to get back into the rhythm of this. It's been a little while since I've done this one. So now we're going to roll. We have to determine what ship it is, the exact ship that we're going to roll on. So the first thing we do is we roll a 1 die. A 1, 2 is an A, 3, 4 is a B, 5, 6 is a C. So we roll that, and we got 4. So that's a B chart. Then we're going to roll 2 10-sided dice, and the black die is the 10 digit. So that gives me 89. Small freighter B is what I'm looking for. Small freighter on the B, 89. It tells me it is the 2,600 ton Kohoku Maru. And P is a passenger ship. So it's a passenger. So I have a small passenger. So I have this small passenger. He's 2600, and you can see here on this counter at the bottom is a small number 2. Sorry, it's not wanting to cooperate with me exactly. There's a 2 right there, and that tells us what size, how many hits it's going to take on him. So we put him on the damage mat here on the number 2, which says 1001 to less than 5,000 tons, or to 5,000 tons. So he's there, and he's a 2,600 ton. And then what I'll do is, I'll do this and then I'll come back to you. I record that on my patrol log sheet. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, so we have recorded here. And because all patrols in this game take 2 months. So you have your patrol, where you're going, and then the second month is also a P. Then I usually use it like this, 2600, and I record the name of the ship also. So that's what we're doing. So that's what we've encountered. But there's also an escort. So we have to roll for the escort also. So I use the variable escort quality and aircraft quality. So the years 41 to 42, we're gonna roll 1 die. And it is a, no dice, got to roll in the tower there. It's a 5. A 5, he's trained. So we're gonna use the trained escort counter. Right here, escort trained, he goes into the escort box. So he has a trained escort. Okay. So now we have to start our engagement if I want to engage. But quite honestly, because there's an escort and it's a small vessel, I don't want to tangle with that. So we're not going to engage this one, and we're going to move on. So I'll take him off the board now. Yeah, he's just not worth it. He's not a big enough target for me to worry about right now. My main thing is get my passenger back. Okay, in the Philippines, this middle box up here has a ×2 in it. That means I have to spend 2 moves in this box. So we'll put it beside it the first time. And now we have to roll on the encounter again to see if we have an encounter. So let me get my encounter chart. Control assignment, here we go. Encounters in the Philippines. We roll 2 dice and we get a 3. And a 3 in the Philippines is a ship, no escort. Now this one I'll probably want to do an encounter with. Okay, first thing I got to do is roll for size, and it is a 3, so it's a small ship. We're going to roll for the chart roster, and it is 6, so it goes on to the C roster, small freighter, C roster, and now we're going to roll, and this is a 0 and a 6, so it's actually 6. This is the 900-ton freighter Tatsumomo Maru. Okay, so I'm going to record that. Be right back. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we have to go back to our encounter sheet, and we roll 1d6 for day or night. So 1 to 3, it's day. It is 3, so it's a day, which I have marked, and I'm surfaced. Because this is a small freighter, I don't need to worry about him shooting at me. So we're going to, we did that. Select range, I'm coming in close range because I'm going to nail him with my deck gun. Okay. Escorts attempt detection, there aren't any. So we're going to use our deck gun. So let me get to my deck gun chart, which is right here. So we're at close range, 8 or less is a hit. And let's see, for modifiers, it's not a torpedo attack. There's no other warships. Second salvo, nope. No escorts, none of that. Okay, so I need 2 hits. He's a, actually I only need 1 hit. It was a 06, was a small freighter. So we have small freighter. He's 900 tons, so he only needs 1 hit to hit him. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna fire S1. So I consume a ammo right here. So I'm gonna use my ammo. I'm gonna fire it, put it off to the side, and we roll 2 dice, 2d6, and we need 8 or less to hit. And we got 10. Of course, we missed. Okay. All right, hang on just a minute. Okay, so I should read things probably before I I actually had the option of 1 or 2 rounds, but I didn't. I only fired 1, so I'm not going to go back and say, well, I should have fired. I meant to fire 2. That's not the right way to do it. So I'm not going to do that. What I have to do is I have to roll for a subsequent round of combat now to see if I actually am able to keep up with this ship after I fired on him and did not damage him or did not sink him. Okay, so let's see. That chart is, looking in the book here real quick, to make sure additional, well, it's on the encounter chart on E1. Okay, so let me go here. Oh, here it is. Additional round of combat. So I roll, if I get a 2 or less, an escort comes along to help him. If I get a 3, an aircraft shows up over here, and then I got to deal with that. Okay, so those things can happen to me. It's +1 for 1941 and 42, so I don't think any escort's going to show up. So we roll 2 dice. Daggone it. Hang on a minute. I must be the world's worst dice tower roller. Okay, I got a 5. So a 5 is, I get my additional round of combat. Okay, so they didn't get away from me. I'm going to fire 2 rounds this time. So I'm going to take 2 shots at this silly ship and see if I can put him down. Okay. So now we go back. I'm still at short range. We fire, this time it is a 12. Okay. On a roll of 12, so this is not a torpedo, so I don't have to worry about that. So this is my deck gun. That's a hit. All right. And this is a 3-inch deck gun, so it's +1, which means it doesn't do as much damage. So we roll 1d6, and we get a 4, makes it a 5, which is 1 damage point, and that's all it took to sink that freighter. So I sunk the 900-ton freighter. So we're going to circle him, so I know that that's a sunk ship now, not just an encounter. Okay, that ends that phase of combat. The small freighter comes off of there. All right, and all I used was deck guns, so I still got all my torpedoes. All right, we're going to move into our second box. Second time in this box, we got to roll for an encounter again. So we roll again, 2d6. In the Philippines, we rolled a 9. And let's see, Philippines and a 9. It's a ship plus escort. I'm not gonna, it doesn't matter what it is, I'm not gonna tangle with it. So I'm gonna move on. I'm not even gonna waste the time to do that. We're gonna go to the next one, roll an encounter, and we get a 3. So we encounter a ship again. Okay, so let's do this. And this time, let's try to get this right. The first thing we roll for is day or night. Okay. So here we go. We're gonna roll. We're gonna do our day or night, and this is a 3, and a 3 is day. Okay, so we're still on daytime. We're still surfaced. Now we're gonna find, or we haven't decided if we're surfaced yet or not. So now we're gonna determine ship size. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna roll. A 1 to 4 is a small freighter. It's a 5. This is a large. Okay, now we roll for A, B, or C, and we got table A. So we're gonna go to our chart here. This is large freighter roster A, and now we're gonna roll the 2 10-sided dice, and we get 63. And 63 is a 6,000-ton freighter, Nitetsu Maru. Okay, so we got a large freighter, and this one has a 3 and a 4 on it. So target number 1 down here, and he is 6,000 tons. So he goes on the damage of 5,000 to 9,999 is number 3. So it's going to take 3 hits to sink him. Okay. Now, I could fire my deck gun and get a couple hits on him and hope I could sink him. The bad thing about this early period of the war is dead torpedoes for the Americans. They had the worst torpedoes in the war. Their duds are really bad. But I think we'll try a torpedo attack and see what happens. So let me record this ship and let's see where we're at. Okay, so we're going to fire a spread of 4 torpedoes right here. So what I do is I line my 4 torpedoes up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to fire these, and I can be at close range again because I don't have to worry about him shooting at me. Okay. All right, so we go to torpedo attack, close range. So we have 8 or less is a hit, 9 or more is a miss. This is -1 for a surface torpedo attack. The cruise, no modifiers, no other warships, not a second salvo. These are Mark 18s, or not. No, these are Mark 14s. No modifiers there. Okay, so I'm -1 to the die roll. I need an 8 or less. So it's really a 9 or less. I got to roll this for each torpedo. So here we go. For torpedo number, for the first torpedo, it is a, oh, wrong dice. I'm supposed to roll the 6-sided dice. Here we go. The first one is a 5. That's a hit. So there's 1. The second torpedo is a 10. -1's a 9. That one missed. Okay, so we'll take this one off. Fired that torpedo. Okay, the third torpedo is a 6. It's a possible hit, and the last torpedo is a 8. -1's a 7. That's a possible hit. Okay, the next thing we have to do is check for duds. So, in 1941, a 1 to 4 is a dud. So here comes 2 dice for two of the torpedoes, and I got a 2 and a 5. 1 hit, 1's a dud. And I got to roll 1 more for the third torpedo, and this one is a 1. It's a dud. So I got 1 torpedo hit out of all 4 torpedoes that I fired. That's why these torpedo attacks in the early part of the war are so limited. Okay, here we go for our damage for the torpedo. Okay. Roll once for each hit using the appropriate column. So we roll 1d6, and here we go. Oh man, here we go. It's a 6. 1 damage point. Okay, so what happens is that torpedo did its damage, and he now moves down to a 2. So now it takes 2 more hits to hit him. So I fired 4 torpedoes and I get 1 damage point out of the whole thing. Not really what I wanted there. Alright, so now we're going to have to roll to see if we can continue the encounter. Okay, so we're going to roll for an additional round of combat. And it's a 3. Let's see, +1, because this is 1941, thank goodness, that makes it a 4. So I didn't get caught by an aircraft. Whew, that was close. So I get to come in again. This time I'm going to fire my deck gun. Both rounds off my deck gun. I'm going to see if I can hit him 2 times here with my deck gun. Alright. Die roll modifiers, I'm 8 or less. It's not a torpedo attack. Second salvo torpedo, nope. So no modifiers. So I just need 8 or less. Here comes the first one. 5, that's 1 hit. Here comes the second one. 7, 2 hits with my deck gun. Now we roll for damage. I'm going to roll both dice because I got 2 of them. Each one of them will get a recording here. I got a 3 and a 3. So that's 1 damage and 1 damage. That's 2 damage and 2 damage on this one. 1, 2. I sunk the large freighter. So there's 6,000 tons. That's made it a little bit better for us. So we take this one right here and we circle it now. So we've sunk 6,900 tons so far. And I've still got my passenger on board. Okay, and now we move to our last box here, and we got to roll for an encounter. So here comes the encounter, and it is a 9, and the 9 is ship plus escort. No thank you, I'll skip that. So we're going to go into our transit box. So now we have to roll on the transit. So a 2 or a 12 are the only 2 dice rolls that can cause me a problem. So the first one is 9, so we're good there. We move to our second transit box and we roll, and it's a 3. Whew. We made it home without encountering any aircraft or ships or anything. Okay, so now we're home. Out here I'm going to mark an S. The S means successful, and then normally where the notes are I would write my tonnage, but because that dead thing's there I'm going to write it here on the to the side a little bit. So we sunk 6,900. So far that's our total 6,900. Okay, oh, I gotta get a little higher for you. So I put the S out here, that's a successful mission, 6,900 tons, we're in port. So the passenger comes off my submarine, we evacuated him, so that's a good job for us. Okay, we don't have any repair to do, but we do have to refit the submarine. And it's a mandatory 1 refit. So 2 months for the patrol, 1 and 2, and then we put an R in here. The R is for refit, so that's where we're going to restock everything. If we had any damages or anything like that, we would fix it. So that's our refit. So now we get ready for our next patrol. Okay, and so there were no repairs, but we do get a couple of awards. First one is, because we had a successful mission, the submarine gets its first battle star. So it's a battle star with the number 1 on it. So we put that in the battle stars right here. So he's got his first battle star. And he also gets his first successful mission, gives him the Submarine Combat Patrol insignia. So that's their first ship award. Goes here. And there's no benefits from that right now. When a player is awarded, let's see, the player with this insignia may re-roll once a crew upgrade attempt, which I'm not there yet. I have to have 3 successful missions before I can attempt a crew upgrade. So those help when we're trying to get ourselves a crew upgrade. Okay, so that concludes the first mission. So let's get set up and let's go ahead and run a second mission now that we're starting to get a feel for it again. I think it'll start to pick up. All right, so the next thing we got to do is we got to roll our patrol assignment. So it is now March of 42. So we're now in January to June of 1942 for the Australian boats. Okay, so we're going to roll 2 dice. And it's sending us to 9. And 9 is going to be Indochina. Okay. So Indochina is over here on this left side of the map. All right. And there was no designation there, so it's not a special mission, so we're just going to go patrol in Indochina. So I'm going to make this notation here. Okay, so we're in Indochina. And I need to restock my torpedoes. Actually, after I fired them, before I moved to the next box, I should have reloaded. But we'll go ahead and we'll reload our torpedoes and reload our deck gun. So with our 5 rounds. All right. So fairly quick turnaround. And now we're ready to head out and see what we're going to find here. So the first thing we do is we move into our transit box and we roll. A 2 or a 12 is bad news. 10, nothing. So we move to the next transit. We roll again. And we get a 9. Okay, so now we're going into Indochina. So the first thing we do is move into the first patrol box. And now we're in Indochina. So now we do our encounter chart. So here we go for the encounter. This is Indochina. So this is what we have. And there's warships can show up on this one, which wouldn't be my favorite with these crappy torpedoes. But then again, those are good points. So a 7 is a ship and no escort. Woo, that's what we want to see. This is the kind of patrol we like to catch. Okay, so we have a ship. So the first thing we got to do is roll for day or night. And this is 6. So 6 is night. So we take our day counter and we flip it over to the night. And we have it at night and we put it down at night. But I can stay on the surface because there's no, I don't need to be submerged. Okay. So the next thing we have to do is roll to see what size ship is this. And it is a 3, so it's a small freighter. And it will be on chart number A. So we go to small freighter, roster A. And we roll our 10-sided dice. And it is number 5. Number 5 is a 3,100-ton passenger, the Shirogane Maru. So it's a small passenger, 3,100 tons, puts him at number 2. So it takes 2 damage points to sink him. And I need to record this one. Okay, so I have my 3,100 tons Shirogane Maru. And I'll tell you what, on Board Game Geek, there's a Excel spreadsheet that you can use to record all this, and you can expand these and get them all into one square and everything. And when I'm playing without the video, that's what I use, because I just spin around to my computer and type it in, and I can keep track of my tonnage and everything right there. It's kind of handy, and then you just highlight the square if you sink it or something, so that you know which ones you sunk. Okay, so there we are. We've run into a freighter here, 3,100 tons, and so I need 2 hits to sinking. So I think I'm going to take 2 shots at him with my deck gun. We're going to come in close range. We're going to fire the deck gun for 2 shots. I need 8 or less to hit, and I have no modifiers. So 8 or less to hit. I got a 7, 1 hit. Roll for the second round. 11, missed. Daggone. Okay, I got 1 hit. We roll 1 die, and it is a 5. 1 damage point on the deck gun. 1 damage. So he's down to 1. Okay. So now we're going to roll on the encounter chart to see if I can get an additional round of combat. So we roll. It's +1 because I'm still in 1942. Makes that a 9. So yes, I get the additional encounter. So I'm going to come around. I'm going to fire 1 round. See if I can hit him with this 1. I need an 8 or less. 5, I hit him. 4, 5, 1 hit, and that 1 damage point is enough to sink that freighter. So we sunk him. So I circle that one. So we circle that one, 3,100 tons, and down he goes. Okay. All right. Now we move into the next patrol box, and we roll to see if we get another encounter. So we roll, and we get a 5. A 5 on Indochina is this indication, this dash, which is usually no encounter, and SJ. And SJ means re-roll if SJ radar is present and working. It is not present yet. We do not get SJ radar until July of 42. So we do not have that radar. So it's a no encounter. So we move to the next box, and this takes 2. So I'm going to put it to the side a little bit. We're going to roll for an encounter here. And we get a 10. And a 10 in Indochina is 2 ships plus an escort. Okay. So now we're going to have 2 ships and an escort. So we have to roll for each ship. First we roll for day or night. And it is a 4, and a 4 is nighttime. And I can tell you with the escort, I'm coming in submerged at medium range, I'm sure. If I come in at close range with an escort, they get to try to detect me first. And I don't want to have to deal with that just yet. Okay, so we got to roll for each ship. So we'll roll for ship number 1 first, find out what size it is. And it's a 5, it's a large ship, and it's going to be on table roster B. So we have large freighter roster B, and this is 55. So 55 is 6,000 ton passenger Totori Maru. So this is 6,000 tons Totori Maru. 2 T's. Okay. So the first one is a large passenger right here at 6,000. That makes him a damage of 3. Now we roll for the second ship to see what size it is. And we get a 3. It's a small ship, and it's going to be on table B, roster B, small freighter roster B. And now we roll. And this is 19. And 19 is a 3,700 ton passenger Osaka Maru. So 3,700. That's not a bad size. And this is the Osaka Maru. Okay. So now we know what's there. And we got to roll for the escort to see what he's going to be. We roll 1d6. And it's a 1. Oh, he's green. That's good. So escort is green. So for him, he gets, see if I can get that. It's a -1 so -1 hit. So he's going to have trouble hitting me. So that's good. So it's nighttime. And so here we go. I'm at medium range. I'm submerged. Now, I got 4 torpedoes in the front tubes, 4 in the rear, and that's what I'm going to fire on this first attack. I'm going to put, oh, I didn't put my small, what was that, number 19? He was a passenger, small passenger. Okay, and he's a 2. Okay, I'm going to put 4 torpedoes. 1, 2, 3, 4 at the large ship. And because I'm submerged and at night, I can fire my rear 4 also. There will be a modifier against those 4 at the small freighter. So I'm going to try to hit both of these. I'm trying to take down both these ships right here. Okay, so here we go. Now we got to roll. All right. So I do not get the surface modifier. My crew's nothing. No warship. No second salvo on this first one. Okay. So I got 4 torpedoes that I'm rolling for. So here we go. Got to roll 4 times. I need 8 or less. First one is 5. The first one's a hit. The second one, 3. That's a hit. The third one, 5. And the fourth one, 7. All 4 of them. Now here comes the bad part for the duds. I'm going to roll them 2 at a time to see if I get duds. So 1 to 4, they're duds. I got a 1 and a 3. So the first 2 torpedoes are duds. Clunk, clunk. They hit the hull and didn't go off. Here comes the other 2. Come on, boys. 1 and a 3. This is horrible torpedoes. I hate this part of the war. So all 4 of those torpedoes are duds. Okay. Now against the small passenger, I have 4 torpedoes running, but this is a second salvo torpedo. So it's +1 to my die roll, which means I need a 7 or less to hit. Okay, 4 torpedoes. Here comes the first one. 7 or less. 10. That one missed. All right. Second one. 7. That one hit. Third torpedo. 11. That one missed. And the last torpedo. Come on, boys. You can do better than this. 7. Hit. Okay. These 2 are rolling. Checking for duds. 1 to 4 on each one of them. A 1 and a 3. So I fired 8 torpedoes and did not score 1 lousy hit. Okay. This is what's tough about this. All right, here comes the escort. He's hunting me now. He wants to know where I'm at. So, the escort, and he's green, so he's going to score 1 less hit if he sees me. Okay, here comes the detection. Escort detection, roll 2 dice, 8 or less, I'm undetected. Okay. No modifier there. Escort was not attacked. Escort attacked, missed, no. Captain is not wounded. No damage. Mark 14 during the day, no. Previously detected, no. Close range, no. Night surface attack, nope. Forward firing plus aft, first round only. +1. So he gets +1 to his die roll. And that's it. Okay, +1, 8 or less. So he needs 9, or I'm sorry, 8 or less +1. 9, which is 10. Die roll modifiers. Close range, let's see. 9 plus 1 is 10. I'm detected. He caught me. Okay, so he knows I'm there. So here comes the escort attack chart right here. 1941 to 43, we roll 2d6. Fuel tanks, modifiers, battles, electric motor, night surface attack, nope. Plus roll to 12, nope. Air attack, no. But he is green, which means he's a -1 hit for however many hits. So we roll 2 dice, and he got a 5. A 5 is 1 hit, because he's green, no hits. So he did not hit me. Okay, but he detected me, which means we have to do another round here for detection. Okay, so again, here we go. This time, he gets +1 for previously detected, but not on the forward and aft deal. So we're still to +1. So we roll 2 dice, and he gets, daggone, he gets an 11. +1 is a 12. So a 12 is a +1 on his hit modifiers. So he rolls a 7. 2 hits. Die roll modifiers +1, that's an 8. 2 hits, -1 because he's green, so 1 hit. So now we roll, and I got a red die here, I'm going to roll with this, and the red die is the 10 digit. And that is 23, diesel engine number 1. So I take a diesel engine marker right here, diesel engine, and I'm going to put that over here on diesel engine number 1. So I've got a damage marker there. All right. He's coming around again. This is where we're trying to get away from him. All right, now he gets +1 because he previously detected me. All right, so it's 8 or less for not to detect me. 12. +1. Dang. This is, well, why do you guys hate me? Okay, here we go. This is for his hits. He gets +1 on his roll. 7 makes that an 8. That's 2 hits, -1 because he's green. So 1 hit. Here we go for the hit, and it is 43. A 43 is the SJ radar, which I don't have, so no damage. Okay, so far so good. I'm dodging any real damage. All right, here we go. He's rolling for the detection. He gets an 8. He's +1. Makes him a 9. He still detected me. All right, here we go. For the number of hits, he gets a 4, which is 1 hit minus the green, so no hits. Okay, it's rolling detection again. You can see if you were up against somebody bad, he got an 11, he detects me. +1 is 12, so he gets +1 on his hit modifier, which is 7, makes it 8. 2 hits, -1 because he's green, 1 hit. Here we go with the 1 hit, and that is 13, a crew injury. So I take a light wound marker, and it goes on the crew. Let me check that, make sure I don't have to roll. Oh, no, I have to roll first for that. 2 dice, it may not be that crew member. We roll 2 dice, and it is a 5, and a 5 is the pharmaceutical mate. So he gets a light wound. Oh no, I have to roll again. Gee whiz. And it is a 2. Whew. Light wound to the pharmaceutical mate. So this light wound marker, light wound, goes on to the pharmaceutical mate right down here. Okay. All right, here we go. Man, I wish I could get away from this guy. Here he comes. He's +1. 8 makes it a 9. He's still on me. And he rolls a 9, which is 2 hits, -1, is one hit. Okay, here we go, one hit. And it is 35. It's a hull. So on my damage marker here, I take a hull hit. So that's my first one. And he's coming around again. And he gets 5, which modifies +1, 6. He doesn't find me this time around. Okay. Woo! That was long. All right. So now we have to do some checking here to see what happens if his escort stays with these ships and if I can find him. So hang on just a minute. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to try to follow, see if we can see if they're escorted or not. The first thing we're going to do is repair. We can reload. We're going to put 4 new torpedoes in the bow. I don't have any for the aft, so I shot all them. So I got 4 more there. We're going to roll to see if it fix this diesel engine. So 1 to 4, it's repaired. 4. So it's repaired, so I can take the damage marker off of it now. Okay, now we're going to roll for day or night to see if it's changed. It's still nighttime, so that helps. Now we roll, and a 1 to 4, both ships still have escort. And it's a 3, so I'm still on them, and they still have their escort, which is green. Okay, so I have to decide, do I want to run this again? And I think I do. So I'm going to fire these 4 torpedoes, all 4 of them at the large freighter. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we go for combat again. So we run this just like another combat round. So some time has passed. But now we've come back around onto this freighter again. We're going to try to hit this big freighter. Okay, so it is. Here we go. We're going to roll. I need 8 or less. I'm submerged. It's nighttime. I don't know. Do I really need to be submerged? Let me think about this before I do this. Escort detection. Capital Precincts. Night surface attack. He gets +1 on that. Man, as much as he was detecting me, I'm going to be submerged. I don't want him hitting me. Okay. So I'm stayed at medium range. Oh, I was using the wrong chart anyway. I was so used to looking at that. It's 7 or less for my torpedo hit. Not a surface, not a second salvo, none of that. So 7 or less to hit. 4 torpedoes, I need 7 or less. First one is 6. That's 1 hit. Second one is 12. Okay, on a 12 on a torpedo, you have to roll again. If I roll another 12, that torpedo makes a circular run, which means it could come around and hit me. Thank goodness that was a 6. Okay. Third torpedo, 10, it missed. And the 4th torpedo, here it comes, is 12 again. Man, here we roll again. It's a 10. It missed. 3 misses, 1 possible hit, and now we roll to see if it's a dud. And of course, it's a dud. Man. Okay, now we got to roll for detection. So here he comes. He's 8 or less. I'm undetected. Escort attack, none of that, nothing, not previously detected yet, not on the surface, so no modifier. 8 or less, he won't detect me. 6, he did not detect me. Okay, I think I'm almost out of torpedoes. Shoot, I'm going to try, let's roll, we're going to try it again. We're going to see, we're going to come around again. I'm going to reload my torpedoes here. All 4 of them go in the box. All right. We're going to roll for day or night. It's daytime. So it changed to day. Now, I can try to get that down to night by re-rolling, to switch to night. So I roll. A 1 to 4, it goes to nighttime. A 5 to 6, I lost them. Now I get the 6. I lost them, so that's over. Okay, so that one's over. I didn't get either one of those ships. All right. So we spend our second turn here, and we roll for an encounter. And the encounter here is 11. 11 in Indochina is no encounter. We move to the next box, and we roll for an encounter, and we get a 9. And a 9 is no encounter. So we move to our last box here for Indochina, and we roll, and we get a 9, which is no encounter. So now we come back to our transit box. If we roll a 2, it's an aircraft, or a 12, it's a 10, nothing. Okay, we move to our next transit box, and we roll a 9. All right, we're back to port. Okay, the good news is, I sunk one ship for 3,100 tons. Which makes a successful mission. Now I have to check for my refit here, because I have one hull damage, and one hull damage means repairs. Okay. Scuttling, no. Let's see, refit. Okay. Add to this 1 additional month for each increment of 3. So I had one hull damage, so I have to add 1 additional month for refit. So I had one sunk, the Shirogane Maru, 3,100 tons. Put that over here. I got another S for successful mission. 1 refit for the normal refit, and 1 to repair my hull damage. So when I come back out, it'll be July of 42. I also get another battle star. So I'm now at, take that one off, battle star number 2. And I get my second successful submarine award right here. So I now have 2 of those. Okay. So we'll fix the hull. We'll refit our torpedoes, get everything reset, and we'll be ready for, and my pharmaceutical mate, he just had a light wound, so he's fixed up, so we're good there. Okay, on our next playthrough, we'll have mission number 3, and if I get another successful mission at the end of mission number 3, then I get to check for crew skill increases. So that's big, so that'll help. And coming into July, man, one more mission, and I'm going to get up to where the duds are only 1 to 3. So instead of being 60% or whatever they are bad, they'll only be 50%. So maybe I can start sinking some ships. I've had some great opportunities here coming out of here, but man, it just didn't work. It just wasn't working for me. Again, sometimes the dice just hate me. This is a fun game. I like this. I like knowing what ships I'm after. You know, the destroyers are after me, all this stuff. And you can see when that destroyer, I'm lucky that that was a green escort, because if it hadn't been, he would have been all over me, and I probably would have taken a lot more damage. So luckily, I got lucky there that he didn't really blast me. So we're going to wrap this one up. I think we played first two missions, and like I said, I have a lot of fun with this game. I played this one a lot, but it's been well over a year since I played it. So this was a great time to break this out and give it a run through for you guys, for those that haven't seen it or, you know, are curious. About the difference between this one and some of the other submarine games out there. Okay, hey, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And if you liked it, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks.